Well, hello, Napa, and you're listening to another edition of Lee and Desi's Real Estate Hour. This is Desi Capaz.
And I'm Lee W. Miller. Welcome back for another exciting discussion about what's happening in the community, kind of with a little focus on real estate. Yeah. And our show is sponsored by People's Home Equity, dedicated to the simple goal of helping Americans achieve the dream of responsible home ownership. You can reach People's Home Equity at 707-766-0699, extension 1.
Well, that's Martine and Bridget over there.
Yeah,
they're great.
Good people over there.
They are.
Not only good people, they know what they're doing, too. So.
And we also have a guest today, and we have another Miller in the house.
Another Miller. Yeah, there's not very many of us, right?
And that's Nicholas Miller, and we're gonna talk about real estate photography and how important it is to when sellers are out there ready to put your house on the market to really professionally, stage it and take pictures.
It makes a big difference.
It does make a big difference.
Got to put that best image, no pun intended, out there so the clients can see the property in its best light. Another pun there. But Nicholas doesn't do just real estate photography. He's also quite the accomplished photographer from an artistic standpoint. You can see his work at miller.photo. Some people don't know that .photo is a suffix. You don't have to have the .com or .net. Miller.
No, we have
photo.
.realtor.
Realtor. Right.
I know I threw the A out there. Realtor.
Right.
No, but we do have a .realtor. So yeah, it doesn't matter.
And we are the Lee and Desi Real Estate Show.
Well, we are the show.
It's an hour, but the name is the real estate show.
Well, the
implying
idea
entertainment.
Well, that and plus the idea behind it, if we make it big, it may be an hour and a half show, or it may be 2 hour show.
Yeah.
So.
Syndicated nationally for a 3-hour show.
I don't know if you can handle 3 hours of Lee and Desi. I don't know. Well, that's funny. Well, he'll be in on our second hour. So not second hour, but second half hour, should I say. He will be on, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So we look forward to Nicholas.
And a little trivia? Well, no, I'll save the trivia. I'm going to save the trivia for the second half. All right.
You have some trivia for us.
Well, it's Nicholas trivia.
Oh, okay.
And it's related to our show.
Okay, well, let's leave it for the second half, yeah. So what did you do this weekend? I mean, in the community, there's so many things out there to do. What did you do this weekend?
Well, if you figure that the weekend started on Friday.
Right. I always count that as a weekend.
You know, we got to enjoy.
Yes, we did.
Napa City Nights.
Yes.
Good band out there. My friend Wendy DeWitt, the queen of Boogie Woogie, opened the show. Too bad it wasn't her entire band.
She's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just got a lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy.
Toured the world playing boogie woogie music and blues and funk and a lot of different stuff that she plays. And she also has the International Boogie Woogie Festival in San Francisco the first week of October every year.
Right.
The problem with it is that it conflicts with the Napa Valley Film Festival, one of my favorite events here in the Valley. So.
Yes, it is mine too. Yeah, it is really fun to be out there. But for the whole show, I was intrigued sitting there. We're drinking some wine, listening to music, having fun, talking amongst friends.
Meeting new people.
Letting
the kids run around.
Well, I was just going to go into that. My little boy, Evan, running around with his little scooter. It was funny because he was having his space there. There was nobody on the dance floor at the time. He's just going and going, right? And then suddenly people start dancing, and then here he comes with his little scooter down the ramp, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's going to be like pins, bowling ball here, and pins, and people falling all over the place.
And Evan's like, excuse me, this is my scooter area. Yeah. Why are you people shaking your booty on my scooter area?
It was funny. Everybody was so nice. So we had a great time. It was great weather. Should I say it was great weather?
Yeah. Well, we live in Napa Valley, so
right. Well, everyone should, if you get a chance, Friday nights. I don't know if it lasts till
It's only I think 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks, right?
Maybe even only 2 more weeks.
It's at Veterans Park down on Main and 3rd, right there on the corner, and have yourself a blast. Bring yourself a nice cooler, some chairs, blankets, a little bit of food.
Whatever drink.
I mean, you do have food out there, too.
Yeah.
You know, you had Philippines and...
Yeah. And if we don't bring our own food, we always go across the street to Vello Pizza.
Vello's.
And get a good pie over there.
Yeah.
Dan's a good guy.
Downtown Joe's is right next door.
Yeah.
So, good times. We had a good time there. Try it. You gotta do that.
Right.
So, what else in the real? Well, should we talk about real estate now because we are a real estate show? But what's going on? That we talked to Randy Gallardi, and he said that there is an approval for the Sierra Avenue to go right through.
No, it's not an approval yet. It's
okay.
a meeting to get more of the public's viewpoints on it. Obviously, there are folks who are opposed to it. And, of course, there's a lot of folks who are in favor of it because it will take some of it'll distribute the traffic that is
well, they're
going
to feel that Sierra is going to end up being a thoroughway, and you're going to see much more traffic, which I can see that happening.
Right, but it's not going to go all the way through. It's not going to go all the way to Big Ranch Road. It's going to go to Valley Verde. Yeah. So,
Right.
So we try to stay up on and inform our listeners as to what's going on in the community as it relates to real estate. And again, if you just tuned in, I'm Lee W. Miller.
I'm Desi Capaz.
And you are listening to the Lee and Desi Real Estate Show.
Well, we are, and also, too, we are associated with our broker is Heritage Sotheby's, International Realty, and wonderful company. So
owned by Randy Gallardi, who's kind of a rookie in real estate. He's only been doing this for about 40 years.
I know, my gosh.
But Randy's not just a realtor and not just the owner. He's also very experienced in development and knows what's going on in the community, and is a voice that the City Council and Planning Commission always is welcoming to hear Randy's input on things. So,
yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
it's fun to work for him. Not only that, but last week at our MLS meeting, or should I say our marketing meeting for real estate professionals in the entire area, we have it every Thursday, and we had Rick Tooker, which is our community development planner, and he came in to talk about the state of the city, and it was very intriguing. A lot of the developments that are happening around the city that we should be expecting that have been approved, some not, others have.
That was the interesting part, is he informed us of all of these different projects that are in the works. That's probably the best way to put it, because some of them are approved, some of them are trying to get approved, and it may or may not be. So for a novice that would go to the county website and look at that page and see all the different projects, they would think, oh my goodness, there's just too much happening, there's too much growth. Well, not all of those are going to be approved. So
right. Well, of course, that's why we have these town meetings where, we let the citizens come in and express their opinions, and that's why it's very important, not so much for the opposing opinion, but for the favorable opinion. I mean, if you want the project to go through, or if you think it's going to help the city, why not go down and express that? I mean, anytime there's a meeting, it's always the opposing views that are overwhelming there, and you end up.
Yeah, it's a false read on the sentiment of the community when only those who are vehemently opposed show up, and there's probably a lot that are in favor, but they just don't show up.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get back to that. Let's take a break here for Martin. Martin's on the line. Let me get him on the line here. I got to press that button pretty hard.
And who's Martin?
Martin, are you on?
Morning, guys.
Hey,
Happy Monday.
happy Monday, and it sounds like you're out in Tahoe, huh?
I am. I'm staring at the beautiful lake right now. I'm ready to jump in.
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. I know you told me you were going out there, and I was jealous, of course, because Tahoe in the summer is just as good as Tahoe in the winter. It really is. I don't know, in my opinion.
It's beautiful here. Wintertime, it's gorgeous. Get some snowboarding done with my kids, and then the summertime, I mean, the beach it's awesome. It's just the water's nice and blue.
And
Skies
nice
are
and
blue.
cold. Speaking of blue, it's nice and cold.
Well, you know what's great about it, and I know I'm going on a tangent here, but it's when I go out to Lake Tahoe, it's beautiful. I mean, I can jump in the water. See, I'm originally from Florida, so when I jump in a lake, I'm already thinking, where's the gators? Right? I'm looking around, waiting for the eyes, popping out of the water, so I'm waiting, but I jump in there. I know nothing's in there, but I know it's a very deep lake.
Oh.
Like a very deep lake.
Right.
And it's like that's scary in itself. But no, I digress. I mean, I really think I try to take that out of my mind and enjoy myself. So anyway.
Well, and again, those of you who are just joining us, we now have Martine Yatako on the line. I'm sorry, I'm blending two words there. Martine is the branch manager of People's Home Equity right here in Napa and other locations in Northern California, probably within our listening area. So, Martine, we really appreciate you joining us in spite of the fact that you are on vacation with your family. But just to do a quick call in, tell us what's going on with the market. How are things? What are the rates? And just talk for a little bit about those things.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. I have Bridget on the line as well.
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
Good morning, Bridget.
Bridget, I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, I am. I'm working towards that. Thank you. A lot better. And now I'm not from Tahoe, so it makes it that much better.
All right. Well, welcome.
So for a mortgage update, interest rates are still amazing. They're still really, really low. I just locked a client in on Friday on a jumbo loan for a 30-year fix at 3.875 with no points. FHA, I also locked a client at 3.75.
Wow, that's amazing.
So for a 30-year fix, no points. Your conventional conforming rates are at 4%. Your 15-year fix for a conforming is at 3.75. For a jumbo 15-year fix, you're looking at 3.375.
Wow.
So the interest rates are really, 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 really good right now. So if you're thinking of buying a home or refinancing, right now is the time. The rates are still historically low.
Yeah. And that was 4 reallys when you said really, 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 really low. That's really low.
He's excited.
No, it gets me very excited because it's a great opportunity to purchase your home, especially when these interest rates are so low.
It is.
And they can change pretty quick.
Yeah.
So,
And I think what's also nice is while owning a home might seem out of reach to a lot of different people, and that's what's kind of nice about our team. We specialize in making that goal of the home ownership come alive. So with these rates, it kind of makes it a little bit more, exciting, for us, for the team. And also for others, because a lot of them out there, they kind of are on that fence of going, oh, I don't think I can afford this. I don't know if I could do this.
Right.
And it's amazing. And I'm telling you, just coming from my background of being a single mother of 3 2 years ago, that was always my goal and my dream to home ownership. When those rates came around, I saved enough money and did what I was supposed to do. I made it happen. And it really is. It was a miracle in my head, but actually it wasn't. It was just actually coming across the right people at the right time with the right knowledge and experience to get that going. And our team made that dream come alive. So it really, I have to say, it really magic.
Well, like we talked about last week, we said how, decades ago how rates were so high. Now they're low and extremely low, and people, at least the new generation or the millennials now, don't realize that they're extremely low. So take advantage of it. It's, who knows when they're going to start. I mean, they have obviously started creeping up in a sense that the Feds had taken it up 0.25% a couple of times. It's been about 3 times, I think. 2 times last year, 1 time this year, or maybe missing 1 other time. But still, for the overall perspective, they're still low, and they need to take advantage.
Yeah, and when the Feds increase short-term rates, a lot of people, consumers, think that it affects long-term rates.
Right.
But it's short-term rates. So when they increase it by 0.25%, that's credit cards,
right? Credit cards,
credit,
things like that,
equity lines.
Yep.
So still, there's interest rates are really low. In 2007, a smoking rate was at 6.5%.
Well,
so,
before you were born, Martine, when I graduated from college with my degree in business with a concentration in real estate, they were 19%. So imagine that.
Oh my!
Lee, what year was that?
Well, we won't go into that. No, that was 1981.
Yeah, they were extremely high.
Yeah,
so.
talk about trying to make some sales. That was tough. So.
I can imagine. Well, thank you very much, guys, for taking the time to give us a call from your vacation, your family vacation. You enjoyed out there in Tahoe. Again, I'm still jealous, and next I may have to just crash your party. I don't know next time.
Yeah, they'll be there for a few days. We can buzz up there. Yeah, thanks.
Come.
Yeah, the more the merrier, right?
Absolutely.
We'll definitely send you pictures. Maybe bring you back a nice little.
Bring us some lake water. No gators.
Yeah.
There you go. Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, that was Martine Yatako and Bridget Nelson, People's Home Equity.
Well, see, it just goes to show you, and I'm going to be a broken record here, but we need more inventory on the market. It's just plain and simple. In order for the buyers to buy, right? We need more. And a lot of it is due to fear from the seller, selling their home, and then they got to turn around and buy, and they're like, well, where am I going to buy?
Yeah, they say, man, I've enjoyed such great appreciation over the last 8 years. Right. I should sell. Yeah. No, but everything that I would buy has appreciated as well. But I just always think, get what you want, get what you can afford, but for crying out loud, don't rent.
Right.
Especially in our market, rents are so high, and with interest rates being so low, it just makes sense. And you can talk to Martine and Bridget. You can reach them at 766-0699. Maybe you're thinking about it. You don't know if you qualify or not, but reach out to them, find out if you do, if you don't, what you need to do to make that happen, and it's all good stuff. So
well, and this goes to show you that in this probably came out about a week ago here in the register.
I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's fewer homes for sale under $500,000 in Napa County, and that is just crazy. All due to the fact that supply and demand. It's all economy talk here. It's supply and demand. There is no supply, high demand, and it's raising prices, which is great for sellers at this point because their equity is going up. They're getting a ton of equity in their homes, but again, the market is not balanced. It should be 6 months worth of inventory, according to the experts, for us. And right now, it's less than 2. So that it's an unbalanced market. And but again,
and there's only, because of the low inventory, listings have dropped 10% from last year to this year because there's just not enough. So that's a pretty sizable drop.
Well, and also too is you have to realize that there's sellers out there thinking, well, I want to keep on seeing how high this is going to go.
Right.
You know, how high is my house going to be, and then I'll sell. Well, where's that peak, right? I mean, we don't know. We're never going to know. I would say take your profit now, and if you have a exit plan, if you have a second home that you wanted to move in, or a retirement home you want to move in, do it now. I mean, say next year it does go up, 2018 goes up another 3 to 5%.
And all indications are that it's not going to go up that much, because over the last 6 months, the appreciation rate has somewhat plateaued. It's leveled off. That's
Right.
a very healthy increase for the market.
Right. 3 to 5 is always healthy. Around 5% is always healthy.
Yeah.
So, so for that, if you're looking or you're on the fence, I would say go ahead and make your move now. There's a ton of buyers out there waiting, looking, being patient. Also, there's a lot that have exited the market because, unfortunately, they've been priced out.
Right.
That's another thing. So, but
even with these low interest rates, can you imagine? Talk about pricing out. It's one thing for the home prices having escalated so much in the last 8 years, but interest rates, if they go up half a percentage point, that impacts the buyer's ability to buy to the tune of about $30,000. So the same exact house you qualify for today, if interest rates increase a half a percentage point, you won't be able to afford it. So
exactly, that's the other key. So but again, I sound like a broken record. I've been preaching this forever. We need more inventory. The state of California needs more inventory. I mean, it's just not this. It's just not this area.
Right.
It really isn't.
Well,
it's the whole
related
state of
to
California.
that, the 20 hottest markets in the entire U.S., 6 out of 10 of them are in California.
And one is our neighbor
Vallejo,
to the south.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, our listeners listening to Lee and Desi's real estate show probably would be shocked to learn that Vallejo is not the hottest market in California. It's the hottest market in the entire United States.
Yeah, it is, and that is something that prices are pretty reasonable there still.
And I've my theory is the reason that is the case, that Vallejo is the hottest market, is because when the recovery after the Great Recession began, a year or two into that, Vallejo declared bankruptcy as a municipality. So where everyone else began the recovery, Vallejo was going through what they were going through. So they're like 18 to 24 months behind the rest of Northern California and the Bay Area. So get your houses in Vallejo, people. There's a great opportunity. There's gentrification occurring. And a lot of people don't know that Vallejo in the 40s was like the destination spot. It was like a
Mare Island.
Yeah.
Right there.
But I mean, the folks from San Francisco used to take a ferry across and spend the day in Vallejo. So,
right. Well, again, that leads to what we were talking about, and you said rents. Don't rent, right? Well, I found it interesting in the Wall Street Journal that experts were talking about how it was with the job growth kind of slowing down. Okay, they're saying that vacancies are starting. They're predicting, and this is predicting, that vacancies are going to start increasing, which will start decreasing the rents.
Right.
Okay. Now, I always look at a big city like this, and I always compare it to, we have San Francisco. So, you have to kind of make that comparison somewhat. Is it going to happen on the West Coast? Is it going to happen around this area? Well, if job growth is kind of slowing down, maybe across country, if it slows down. Now, the tech industry is pretty good and healthy, but if it does slow down, will it drive down rents? Maybe get some of the people that have moved out in this area from San Francisco and are commuting, maybe start going back to the city, and our rents start decreasing a little bit. Okay, maybe we'll see that too. maybe in the future. I mean, when is it all going to end? I mean, it has to have some kind of plateau, right?
Right.
I mean, rents can't just. I mean, when we were in the meeting on Thursday, we heard a house in Yountville for $4,700 a month.
Right, for rent.
I mean, that is insane. That is insane. So anyway, we hope to, and maybe we will see that cross country, and maybe we'll see rents kind of come down a little bit too on that end. So we're going to go to break right now, and real quick, we are on Twitter, and our handle is @LeeAndDesi. So just if you have questions, you can always post them there on Twitter, and we'll pick them up there. We're going to be going back, tweeting back and forth, so that's fun during the show.
We can talk about any comments or questions. We'll talk about that on the air too. So we want your input here on the Lee and Desi Real Estate Show. And welcome back. Listen to these drums right there.
I could just rock out right now.
Yeah. The reason I say listen to those drums right there is because we have that drummer in studio with us right now. He is the one. He is the only. My favorite son, my only son, Nicholas Miller. Welcome in studio.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And, of course, this is the second half of the Lee and Desi Real Estate Show.
That's right.
And it is real estate. It is not
with Desi Capaz and
Lee W. Miller. I only say W because that is everything social media. If you do Lee Miller, you'll get some photographer from the 1920s that was doing nude photography back in the 1920s. But Lee W. Miller, you find me.
Photography.
Yeah. And the tie-in is we're going to be talking about real estate photography with Nicholas Miller. But
that's right.
We're not talking about music other than the fact that music is him playing the drums on.
That's awesome.
What's the name of the
Playing for Pennies.
Playing for Pennies is the name of the
song's written by a good friend, Brian Davis, and I did all the drumming for it.
Yeah, and Brian did every single other instrument and wrote, but he didn't know how to play the drums, so he tapped Nicholas, and now
that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very talented, Nicholas. I mean,
I try.
Photography and music and
yeah, sculpt.
What's next?
Yeah,
painting and
But he's mostly making his living as a real estate photographer, both in Sacramento and in Napa. Very, very popular amongst realtors here in town. And the reason for that is, boy, when you put a listing on for some property, it really needs to pop. And there is a difference between an agent shooting with an iPhone and a professional photographer that knows lighting and knows proper angles and things of that nature. So,
well, and also too is that I went on a listing presentation just this past weekend, and it was really refreshing to talk to the client and them letting me know, well, you're not doing this on your phone, are you? I said, oh gosh, no. Oh gosh, no.
So that's interesting that even the clients know
He's like,
the
wow.
difference.
Yeah, like I've seen those. They take good pictures, but gosh, on an iPhone, I'd rather have. I said no. Right. I would bring a professional in here to take photographs of your house. I mean, that's the only way I would do it.
Right.
And I said, and not only that, but I will do a drone of flyby with shots and even Matterport. If anybody knows what Matterport is, it's a 3D image of your house, which you can send out in a file
Yeah, it simulates
yeah.
someone walking through the house and
Right.
seeing every little view from every angle,
Right.
every perspective.
You could also hook it up to virtual reality
Right.
goggles now, which
was-
is super cool.
I was
Oh,
just going to
that's
say
pretty
that,
cool.
yes. And I do have a pair. And I thought to myself, well, and I told him, and I said, listen, I said, I can take that, those goggles with me, and if somebody, and I can always present it to somebody, and I'll just say, hey, look at this house, put on the goggles, and you can just take a virtual tour of the house right there. And then I said, they don't have to come and disturb you.
Right.
So he was like, whoa, his eyes were gotten real big. So anyway, that's where real estate's headed. And Nick, what can you express on that?
What were you saying earlier about the supply and demand, how competitive it is for a buyer? It makes a huge difference of how you market that property and the pictures. I mean, the house is probably going to sell regardless, even if realtors taking bad photos with the cell phone. But if you're able to market it properly with professional photos and get multiple offers above asking and
Sure.
start bidding more, that's what's going to stand you apart.
That's
Yeah,
key.
talk about a good return on investment.
That's
spend
key.
$250 or $300 on photos,
Right.
and you get way more than that
Right.
on your actual sale.
Well,
price.
and that's key what he said. I mean, it's going to sell regardless. But the point is that let's drive that. Let's get that return of investment up there.
Well,
that's
and it
what
comes
these
down
photographers-
to we as realtors, we have a fiduciary responsibility. When we take a listing, we absolutely must do everything that we possibly can to get our seller the highest possible price that we can for their home. And to
Exactly.
take a shortcut and do cell phone photos is just so unprofessional. As
Right.
a matter of fact, it's not even permitted at Heritage Sotheby's.
Right.
It is a requirement.
Exactly.
Every single listing that we do must have professional photos taken. So
And it's my job to show every nook and cranny of the house, really capture every angle, so you could even have people that want to put in offers without even seeing it in person, just to get that head start. If they don't have time, if they're coming from out of town, just that's what I've seen with a lot of listings I've photographed is multiple offers above asking.
what are some of the things that, without giving away your secrets, that you like to try and include that really accentuate a property?
I have developed an editing technique as well as photographing technique that not just putting a cartoonish HDR filter on it just to make the photos pop, but to make it realistic. The human eye could see things that the camera can't, and that's where post-production comes in and makes the stuff I do makes it look realistic, but also pop, very vibrant. And you see some photos that look very cartoony, which, yeah, they're attractive to look at, but they're very unrealistic.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And well done by not revealing your secret either. So you've developed this. Yeah, I mean, it's taken you years to
Yes,
continue
it has.
to improve
Yeah.
and improve and learn and using that technique. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you would want to use Nicholas Miller,
There
and
you
you
go.
can find him at miller.photo.
Well, and also too, when I first got into the market here, 2010, it was funny. I, as a new agent, I was coming from the media and coming from television production. My thing was video. I came out here thinking, that'd be great to just shoot video inside the home and put some graphics to it, and that'll be a service I can offer my clients. And it was really popular. A lot of the agents, they were kind of intimidated by it. They were like, "Oh my gosh, well, what do I do?" And then I was getting approached by several agents to do their houses. So it started. So heck, I should have made it a little business. Really, to be honest with you, I just I was like, look, I just came from TV production and now I'm doing a new career here. Give me a chance. But
Right.
for the most part, though, and we're talking photography, which is different in stills and everything, but just the whole aspect of presenting the house in a light, and you got to and you're using cameras, you're using photography, you're using 3D imagery, and that's what whether it's a seller's market or buyer's market, that's how you want to present the home. In this type of light. This is where real estate is headed.
Right.
I actually
That's what I
put
should say.
my photos together in slideshows, like virtual tour slideshows. So it's not technically video, but you're putting them to music, and
Right.
it's very entertaining for a potential buyer to watch a little 2-minute video, basically walking through the house.
And
with
you
the
do
photos.
drone photography too.
Right.
Yeah, what's been most popular is do a drone flyby, and then I fly right into the front door, and then mix that with still shots of the interior.
Right.
Make that 2 or 3 minutes with some cool music. You're good.
The drones really intrigue me. I love drones, and I totally suggest that, especially unique properties.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on a terrace or if you're on a upside on a side of a hill, something like that. Those projections. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be in the middle of the valley on a nice flat piece of land with a lot of vineyards. Showing that aerial view is none other. I mean, you really need to see that.
And you don't
Even a
have to be
suburban
super high. You don't have to be
Exactly,
You 10, 15 feet. If you're shooting a 2-story house, it looks so much better than shooting it from the ground.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
he just gave away a little secret there.
Not all. Yeah, you don't want to reveal all your tricks.
Nicholas, what do you like most about what you do for a living?
I get to blend or mix my artistic, creative side with business, and I run my own business, and it helps me stay balanced. I'm not just taking pretty pictures of landscapes and opening art galleries, and then I'm not just running a business that would drive me crazy. So I get to mix creativity and business.
So let's talk about that. So you're doing the creative aspect of real estate photography and your artistic side, but talk a little bit about the artistic photos that you've taken and how people can get those.
So I don't go too creative because you don't want to see just a macro shot of a flower on when you're trying to market a property. But
I mean the non-real estate photos that you do.
I do a lot of fine art, photography, and landscapes. Put some art on your wall.com is where you could find some of those. I like to travel and do it, and it helps me. It allows me to write off my travel, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, it's again, now it's becoming very popular to have homes shot in a professional way. I know it's a big business now. It's starting to become a little bit of a big business in the valley. I've met a lot of different photographers, and I remember when you first started in photography, or if you first started shooting video, one of the jobs you would be taking is weddings. Weddings were big.
Oh, yeah.
That was your thing. Now it could be homes. And so I think all agents are on board now. I've been seeing a lot. Now, what's funny is that I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and I seen I'm in one of those funny real estate agent groups or whatever. They're just humor involved. That's all there is. The lighter side of real estate. And they show a picture of, and I don't know if this is a for real picture or somebody just did this out of fun, but there was because I can't imagine an agent doing this. But anyway, they were in the shower with the curtains kind of tightened up there, and you see him peeking through with the camera, taking a picture of the bathroom, and whoever it was circled the person there. Do you see that? Right. And I mean that is hilarious. Yeah. And you back in the day, what I would say, geez, well, it happens now, but right. 5 years, 10 years ago, whatever, you would see them inside the mirror,
see themselves in the mirror,
or wherever, taking these pictures of that. So this is what we are preaching now: is that don't do that, agent.
I'm an expert at photoshopping myself out of mirrors, FYI, so, especially in bathrooms.
Right. Well, I'm such a just ridiculous. It's one of my pet peeves, is because I'm so fortunate to be able to have the best real estate photographer ever, Nicholas
right.
Miller. When I see agents that are doing such lousy photos, I posted one the other day. She actually used a photo and I'm not going to name the agent's name, but her finger was partially over
Oh,
the
right. I
lens.
think I've seen that.
And it's like, really?
Whoa.
You couldn't just shoot another one and move your finger? Come on. So there's
it's
drone
still out
photography, there's still photography, there's Matterport. In fact, we have Matterport in our office. Brandon Hagler does the Matterport in our office.
And you know what?
You can reach out to Desi and I will put you in touch with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've gotten to meet those guys at Matterport. How they do it is amazing. It's this the technology.
Has 9 different cameras in it built
Right.
in, I believe, that shoots all different exposures. So able to
So
get
it concurrently does 9 different shots with every.
yeah, because any interior of a house is going to be darker in light spots, and
Sure.
then when you look out the window on a sunny day, it's going to be light. So it exposes for all of that, and you're able to get a nice neutral look.
Oh, interesting.
Now, do they place the camera in the middle of each room?
Yeah, it's strategically placed, multiple places as you would be walking through. Kind of like I have routes when I photograph houses. I go to each corner and kind of move. So when you do put those photos into a slideshow,
There's some
it
flow.
looks like
Yeah.
a lot of flow. It looks like you're walking, and that's what Matterport does too. So you can just click the next spot.
So even that, before I used Nicholas, I would get the photos from the photographer, and it's like, here you go. And they're all out of order, and as the agent, I want to portray that flow.
Sure.
And so I'm doing all that, and when you use Nicholas, you don't.
Well, when you're dealing with 50 photos, it's kind of a pain to adjust the order. So I try to shoot as I would be getting a tour from the start in the front, go
And
in
then
the
present them to
entryway,
the
kitchen,
agent.
living room, finish off at the bedrooms, and then finish off at the backyard.
Right. Yeah, that's great. There's quite a few realtors here in the Valley that might be listening to this right now, and they're saying, no, don't promote Nicholas. We don't want him to get too busy for us. They've actually come up and told me that they love his work, and they don't want him to get so busy that they have to wait in long lines to get his photography. So,
Well, I'm very flexible, and I have a hybrid. Don't mind driving all over the place. I do business all over NorCal, from Tahoe to San Francisco, really.
Right. That's great.
I'm always down for more business.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good, and I can foresee this, blossoming, because again, it's just important, and I think all the agents out there are promoting professional photography now. So, and even staging too. Just to throw that in there, the staging too has become somewhat of a. I remember getting into the business back then, and it was like, okay, you stage, but that's a little pricey.
Well, and the stats show that
Right.
a staged home will generate a return on that investment, so you will actually get more for it.
It's a lot easier photographing a staged home as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could imagine. Other than because we've seen those photos where there's houses that were, just they're cluttered.
Well, not everyone's a professional interior designer, and they're in their own home, so you can definitely
Right.
tell that sometimes.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, that was very diplomatic.
How funny. Well, again, it's drones especially is going to be. You know what? As an agent, okay, I kind of want to know how to fly drones. So, not to take away your business, but just so that I've done this. I've had this happen before. Gone to a property out in Pope Valley. Okay, it's like 70 acres. I think I was showing, and 50 acres of it was like uninhabited. It's
need your
like
hiking
very
boots.
hard to get in there. Just tons of stuff. Bushes and brush and whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, it'd be kind of neat just to have a drone in the back of my truck, throw it up there, and because they mentioned, the clients mentioned, hey, I would love to explore back there. I heard there's a springs back there, whatever. Well, you can't get back there. Yeah, we kind of need to see back there. Okay, well, here you go.
Yeah, have them hold the iPad and just
Look at the camera. Yeah, the
Exactly.
iPad,
Yeah.
and here it is. It's like, whoa, you're cool. You're the coolest agent ever.
I know a guy
Yeah, but bring
Sitting
it. Bring
right
it.
here.
I'll ride along.
I know. Well, you're going to have to ride along to all my presentations at that point.
If you
but,
did
know.
want to get one yourself, though, I mean, it takes a lot of practice. But what really takes practice is getting the nice cinematic shots.
Right.
But flying itself, it actually syncs up with satellites, and you'll be able to figure out in a couple of days.
Yeah, yeah, it's
They're just a little. It's an expensive toy.
I mean, yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I may
you
lose,
crash it.
I may lose a lot of money in the first couple of months,
Yeah.
but
Get insurance. Make sure you get insurance.
it's funny that you don't see crashed drones
Everywhere.
yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, it's,
Well,
and the,
yeah, nobody puts the footage of their drone.
Oh, there's compilations.
crashing.
Yeah,
is there?
YouTube drone crash compilations. It's pretty entertaining.
well, the other day one flew over my house, and boy, it was a little loud. I mean, it shocked me. I mean, I what the heck's over my
They sound
head?
like a swarm of bees.
Right, it did, and it really, yeah, it jolted me. I mean, what the heck is over my? So anyway, Nicholas can definitely provide that service for you, and professional photography.
And other than MLS photos, I do a lot of vacation rentals. If you have an Airbnb listing,
Okay.
or just you're looking to rent
just
out
gonna say,
an
what
investment
other
property
ways,
of
yeah.
yours, yeah, do that as well.
Okay, so that's perfect. So if you do have vacation rentals, anything like that, if you want to put something on Airbnb, he can come out, do the shots for you, put it online.
Of course, that's not legal in
helps.
Napa.
Well, if you have the permit.
Yeah.
If you are one of the 41.
Or if you're a contractor or a real estate investor, you just did a flip or contract. I've done a lot of before and after photos for contractors. They go in and do this amazing work, and really like to showcase it.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you for hanging with Pops and
my pleasure.
and it was a pleasure talking with you, Nicholas. And we're going to see great things from you in the future. We know that, and that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we were supposed to jump in with this day in history. But
Gosh, you're
once
gonna
that music
squeeze it.
played, I was just so mesmerized by that music, which you're going to hear probably in another minute. But real quickly, on this day in history, actually not a whole heck of a lot of really interesting things occurred. Charlize Theron was born in 1975.
Hey.
Easy now, Des. But George Washington created the Purple Heart on this day in history in 1782. And let's see, what was the other? Oh, in 1959, a U.S. satellite took the very first photographs of Earth. Speaking of photography.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was a satellite, not a drone. Not in 1959.
Oh,
And then one other one in 1990. President Bush ordered Operation Desert Shield.
President
which
Bush.
turned in.
That was the first.
Yeah,
that senior.
Yeah, that turned into Desert Storm after the Shield.
I suggest watching the 90s on CNN. Fantastic. It's all executive producer, is Tom Hanks and all that, and it's just a wonderful coverage of
It's
the
called
whole
the
90s.
90s?
The 90s and the 90s. Yeah, because they have the 80s and they have the 70s. They did all the way to even the 60s. But the 90s is really good. It'll talk about Desert Shield and Bush's, whole thing and involvement. So, okay, so we're getting close to the top of the hour, and just a reminder that we do have a website. Okay, we're working on it, but we do have a website, and I invite you to at least jump on there. You can search for homes on there and everything. It's www.leeanddesi.com. It's that simple, leeanddesi.com. Also, we're on Twitter, and our Twitter handle is @LeeAndDesi. And Desi is DESI, just to give you a hint there. And then also, we do have a television. We do run a cable program that airs twice a week and all month long, and it's called All Things Napa. It's on Comcast Channel 28 and Uverse Channel 99, and it's on Mondays at 4 p.m. and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. So you get a full dosage of Lee and Desi. You can call me Des too, but Desi, all month long.
There you go.
All
And
right.
for those of you who are only hearing us, you want to see us on TV, All Things Napa.
All right. Well,
We'll
it was
see
a
you,
pleasure. We'll see you next
next
Monday,
Monday.
right? Yeah. All right. Take care, guys, and bye-bye.